I heard her whisper my brother's name while we were kissing. That was the moment everything inside me cracked. 1 second her hands were trembling against my chest. The next she was calling out someone else. His name. I'm Mason Carter. I'm 26, from Portland, Oregon. People who know me would say I'm steady, quiet, maybe a little boring. But they don't know what I'm about to tell you. They don't know the night my entire life took a turn. This is the story I've never told anyone. I call it, I was just helping at her cafe, until she looked at me differently. The first time I met her, she was struggling to carry 2 heavy boxes of coffee beans from the back of her small corner cafe. It was a gray December morning. The rain was sharp, and her red scarf looked like a flicker of fire against the gloom. She was older than me by a few years, maybe 29 or 30, but she had this soft, almost melancholic grace that made the whole street seem slower. I just lost my job at a marketing firm downtown after months of unpaid overtime and promises that never materialized. I was desperate for something, anything, to keep me from slipping back into my parents' house. She noticed me hesitating at the door and asked if I wanted to help carry boxes. I said yes. That's how it started, just me helping at her cafe. No pay at first, just coffee and warm pastries. She introduced herself as Elena. Her husband, she said, was out of town for business most of the time. At night, when the cafe closed, she'd count receipts at the counter while I mopped the floors. We'd talk about little things. Music, books, how the city felt lonelier in winter. But under the small talk, there was always something in her eyes. Not flirtation exactly, more like recognition. My brother, Ryan, was the golden boy of the family. Law school, charming, everything I wasn't. He'd been my shadow and my rival since childhood. We'd both grown up with a father who measured love by achievements and a mother who kept secrets. I never told Ryan about Elena. Not at first. He wouldn't have cared. Anyway, or so I thought. Weeks passed. Elena started paying me under the table, calling it help, but treating it like a real job. She'd lean across the counter, her perfume like cedarwood and citrus, and ask about my day. Once, she brushed flour from my cheek with her fingertips. It was nothing, but it wasn't nothing. Then, one night, the cafe was empty except for us. The rain was pounding the windows. She asked if I could fix the light above the back door. I climbed the stool. When I came down, she was standing too close. I could see the tiny scar under her lip, the tremor in her hands. "You're too young to be this serious," she whispered. "I'm not serious," I lied, but she kissed me anyway. And in that moment, I forgot about Ryan, about my father's cold eyes, about everything except the smell of coffee and rain in her hair. But then came that moment when she whispered his name. "Ryan." I froze, pulled back. "What did you say?" Her face drained of color. "Nothing." You said Ryan." She stepped away from me, pressing her palms to her face. "Mason, please." "Please what?" "Explain." That's when she told me she'd known Ryan first. Years ago, before law school, before me, they'd been something. She never said the word engaged, but I could feel it like a ghost between us. The cafe suddenly felt like a trap. The smell of burnt coffee, the hum of the fridge, the rain like static outside. My chest ached. "You used me," I said, my voice low. "No, Her eyes were wet, wild. "You don't understand. Ryan isn't who you think he is." "What does that even mean?" "There are things about your family," she started, but then stopped, biting her lip hard. My phone buzzed. A message from Ryan. "Need to talk. Urgent." I stared at her. "What's going on?" Her hands were shaking. "Mason, if you knew the truth." The front door slammed open. Ryan stood there, soaked from the rain, looking at me, then at her. His jaw clenched. "So this is where you've been," he said. In that moment, I felt my stomach drop like an elevator cut loose. Elena whispered, "I didn't want it to happen like this." Ryan stepped closer, his eyes burning into mine. "You have no idea what you've gotten yourself into, Mason." And that's where part 1 ends. Me standing between my brother and the woman who just whispered his name while kissing me, my entire world tilting. Rain pooled on the cafe floor around Ryan's shoes. The smell of wet wool and espresso filled the room. He didn't even bother to shake off his coat. He just stared at me like he'd caught me stealing from him. "Ryan," I started, but my throat felt raw. He cut me off. "You don't even know who she is, Mason. You don't know what she's done." Elena's fingers tightened around the edge of the counter. "Stop, Ryan. This isn't your decision anymore." I'd never seen her like that. Voice low but trembling, eyes darting between us. My brother's jaw flexed. "I warned you," he said, still looking at me. "I told you to stay out of my business." "Your business?" My voice cracked. "I didn't even know she was connected to you until 5 minutes ago." He stepped closer. For a second, I thought he might hit me. Instead, he whispered, "She's lying to you. About everything." Elena's face went pale. "Don't," she said. "You don't get to twist this." I wanted to scream, but my head felt like it was full of cotton. "Someone explain," I said. "Right now." Ryan looked at me, then at her. "You tell him. Go on. Tell him who you really are." Elena stared at the rain-streaked window. For a moment, she was silent, and all I could hear was the hiss of the espresso machine cooling down. Then she spoke, her voice flat but steady. "Your brother and I were engaged," she said. The words hit like a punch. "We broke it off," she continued, "but not for the reasons he tells people." I stumbled back, gripping the edge of a table. "You were what?" Ryan's laugh was sharp, bitter. "Oh, she'll make herself the victim now. She always does." Elena's eyes flicked to mine. "He isn't who you think, Mason. He's not the golden boy. He's..." She stopped herself, biting her lip until it bled. Ryan stepped closer to her. "Say it. I dare you." My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my temples. I wanted to walk out, but my feet wouldn't move. Instead, I whispered, "Just tell me the truth." Elena took a shuddering breath. "Your father knew about us. He forced Ryan to end it. There were financial things, secrets. Your brother did something, Mason, something illegal. Your father covered it up. That's why Ryan married into money instead. That's why." "Shut up," Ryan roared. His voice echoed off the tiled walls. For a moment, even the rain seemed to stop. I stared at him. "Is it true?" He didn't answer. The cafe door rattled in the wind. I felt like I was standing on a cliff edge. "You've been lying to me my whole life," I said quietly. "Both of you." Elena's eyes filled with tears. "I never meant to pull you into this. When you came to help at the cafe, I just saw someone kind. Someone not like them. But then," her voice broke. I swallowed hard. "Then you kissed me." She nodded slowly. "I didn't plan it. I swear." Ryan's fists clenched at his sides. "You're pathetic," he spat at me. "Falling for the woman who nearly ruined me." "I didn't ruin you," Elena shot back. "You did that yourself." The air between us crackled like static. All the workplace chatter, the late-night coffees, the gentle touches, now they felt like pieces of a trap. "I can't do this," I said, turning toward the door. "Mason, wait," Elena whispered. I stopped but didn't turn around. "Do you even love me? Or was I just a way to get back at him?" Silence. That silence felt louder than any scream. Finally she said, "I don't know anymore." Something inside me cracked. Ryan stepped past her and blocked my path. His eyes were dark, but there was something else there, fear. "Don't walk away from me," he said. "If you leave now, you're going to find out things you can't unknow." "Move," I said. He hesitated, then leaned in. "Our father isn't the man you think he is. Neither am I. Stay out of this." I pushed past him and out into the rain. The cold hit me like a slap. I walked fast, heart hammering, the neon sign of the cafe glowing behind me like a warning. My phone buzzed again. Another message. This time from a blocked number. "Mason, we need to talk. It's about your family. About Elena. Meet me at the old pier." I stopped dead on the sidewalk. My breath fogged in the air. Whoever it was knew my name, my family, and her. I looked back at the cafe. Through the window, Ryan and Elena were arguing, their faces pale and tight. I had no idea who to trust anymore. I walked toward the pier, the rain soaking through my coat, the city lights blurring. I kept hearing Elena's voice in my head. Your father covered it up. Your brother did something illegal. The pier was deserted. Waves slammed against the pylons below. A figure stood at the end, hood pulled up. As I got closer, the figure turned. It was my mother. Mason, she said, her voice shaking. You have to listen to me. Everything you've been told about your brother and Elena is only half the truth. My heart lurched. Mom, what are you doing here? She reached out, but didn't touch me. You're in danger. You've been dragged into something that could destroy all of us. Lightning flashed over the water, and for a second I saw her face clearly, pale, drawn, terrified. What do you mean? I asked. She glanced over her shoulder. They're watching us. We don't have much time. And that's where part 2 ends. On the dark, rain-slicked pier, Mason face to face with his mother, realizing the family secret goes even deeper than he imagined. The wind off the water was sharp enough to sting. My mother's hood clung to her wet hair as she kept glancing over her shoulder. She'd never looked small to me until that night. Mom, I said, my voice barely above the waves. Start from the beginning. No more pieces. No more lies. She took a long breath, the kind you take before you dive underwater. Your father built his business on dirty money. Ryan helped him cover it. Elena stumbled onto the paper trail when she and Ryan were engaged. When she threatened to expose it, they paid her off, but she wouldn't take the hush money. That's why the engagement ended. She opened the cafe with what she had left. She thought she was safe. She wasn't. The words hit like icy water. So you all knew? I tried to protect you, she whispered. I begged them to leave you out of it. But when you started working at her cafe, Mason, they began watching you too. That's why Ryan's been so frantic. I stared at her. So Elena didn't use me? She fell for you, my mother said simply. I could see it the first time she came to the house to beg Ryan to stop. You reminded her of who Ryan used to be before all this. But she's terrified. We all are. My hands trembled. Why are you telling me now? Because you still have a choice, she said. Ryan doesn't. I don't. But you can walk away. Her phone buzzed. She looked at it, face draining. They're here, she murmured. I turned. A black SUV idled at the far end of the pier, headlights off. My heart lurched. Mom, I whispered. Go, she said. Run. Don't come back to the cafe. Don't call Elena. Not until you're safe. I'm not leaving you here. You have to. Her eyes pleaded with me, and for the first time, I realized she was as trapped as Ryan. I backed away, then turned and ran. Rain blurred the boards under my feet. Behind me, I heard doors open, men's voices, my mother saying something I couldn't make out. By the time I reached the street, my chest was heaving. I ducked into an alley and pulled out my phone. There was a single new message from Elena. Meet me at the cafe after close. Please, I'll explain everything. I should have thrown the phone into the river. Instead, I went. The cafe lights were off when I got there. Only the neon sign flickered. I pushed the door open. It wasn't locked. Elena, I called. She stepped out from behind the counter. Her eyes were red, her hands shaking. She looked like someone at the end of a long chase. Mason, she whispered. I didn't think you'd come. I shouldn't have, I said. But I need the truth. All of it. She looked down. I tried to keep you out, but I couldn't stop feeling what I feel. You loved Ryan. I thought I did, until he became someone else. Until your father pulled him in. Then you showed up, this kid who still believed in small kindnesses. She gave a sad laugh. I told myself I wouldn't cross that line. I failed. I swallowed hard. What happens now? She reached into her bag and pulled out a flash drive. This is everything. Proof of what they did. This is why they're after me. Take it. Leave. Start over somewhere else. I stared at it. What about you? They'll come for me. They already are. No, I said. We go to the police together. We end it. Her eyes filled. You don't know what you're up against. I know I'm done running. For a heartbeat, the rain outside seemed to pause. She stepped closer, tears mingling with raindrops on her cheeks. You're going to get hurt, she whispered. Maybe, I said, but I won't let them bury you. Later, the details blurred. The anonymous call to the state attorney, the safe house they put her in, Ryan's eventual arrest, my father's empire unraveling in the news. My mother vanished into witness protection. I gave the flash drive to the authorities and watched my family name collapse like a sandcastle in the tide. Elena never came back to the cafe. She sent me one letter from an unknown address. You were the only good thing that came out of that nightmare. Live your life. Be free. I read it 100 times. I still keep it in my wallet. Sometimes at night, when I walk past a cafe window glowing warm against the dark, I think about her, about how a simple act, helping someone carry boxes, can pull you into a story you never imagined. I lost my family as I knew it. I lost her, but I found something else. The power to step out of the lies I was born into. And that's the lesson I carry. Love can begin in the middle of chaos, but it can't survive inside a cage of secrets. You either bring the truth into the light, or you watch everything you care about vanish into the dark. I still believe in small kindnesses. I still hold doors open. But now, I listen more carefully to what's whispered in the dark.